What we're here to do today is show you a great thing to do on your first day of class. As you all know, your students are terrified. Nobody wants to stand up and do anything. What I have found is a great way to start is by using a technique called improv. You don't need to be a professional improv person, just a trial lab person who really wants to teach your kids how to do this, be conversational, and have some confidence. What you're going to see on film is a little rehearsed. When you do this in your classroom, just bring everybody up in the middle of the class. Here we have to be in a certain spot because we have to all be on camera. What we're going to show you is how to teach direct examination, cross-examination of lay and expert witnesses, and now we're going to go.
Late breaking news from Sunnyside. I'm Julia Metz, and along with my co-anchor,
I'm AJ Belito de Luna, and we're hearing incredible news coming out from the field, and we're going to go right out there right away to Steve.
Thank you, AJ. I'm here on the scene of a horrible tragedy. I'm with Mr. Graham Blank. Mr. Blank, can you tell us what you saw today?
Well, I was just sitting there with Humpty, and we were just sitting up there on the wall, and just back there, and I just looked away for a moment, and next thing I know, he's fallen all the way down to the bottom of the ground and just splat. It was just terrible.
Do you know Mr. Dumpty?
I know him very well. He's a great guy. I've known him for 20 years. Best buddies. It's just awful. He's got a wife and kids, and just splat.
Was there any attempt that you saw to help put Humpty Dumpty back together again?
Well, after that, someone saw them, and all these horses came over, and all these people came over, and they worked on him for ages and ages, but no one seemed to be doing anything, and he was still lying there, and I think he's gone.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Is there anything that you would like people to know about Mr. Dumpty?
He was the greatest guy, always positive. He always had his sunny side up. He was just fabulous, and I don't know what his wife and family are going to do.
You heard it here, AJ. Humpty Dumpty, a good egg. Back to you.
Of course, I guess the question really is, why was Humpty Dumpty sitting on a wall? Julia, do you have anything on that?
and AJ, to answer that question, we're going to go back out to Michael in the field, who I believe is interviewing the captain of the guard as we speak. Michael?
Julia, I'm here with Nancy, the captain of the King's Men. Nancy, you and your men were in charge of security today, is that right?
That is right.
And you're the captain?
I am indeed.
So it was your decision to allow the horses to try to put Humpty back together before your men came forward?
No, that's not what happened.
You're saying that the horses didn't move directly to the egg?
We had all the horses and all the men, and we all tried to put Humpty Dumpty together again.
But you failed to do so, isn't that right, Nancy?
Have you ever seen what happens when an egg goes off a wall that it shouldn't be on anyway and just goes splat? That's a lot of pieces to put together. We couldn't do it.
Julia, that was the defensive remarks of the captain of the guard here at the scene.
Good job, Michael, in the field for getting all the answers to those tough questions.
Julia, listening to the story, I was thinking that maybe the weather may have played a role in Humpty Dumpty's big fall. So let's go out to the field and talk to Karen. And Karen, what's the weather like out today?
Thank you, AJ. This is Karen from the Highbrow Weather Channel with our on-spot feature. As you know, we're quite famous for on-the-spot reporting. So let me go to the weather first. Today, across the nation, it was a clear, beautiful day. As usual, weather coming from the West Coast. We're in the Midwest, and so we get some of that weather. I have to tell you that there is a very big line of storms coming through, and it's preceded by some squalls, which are of concern. I've talked to our on-the-spot weatherman at the scene of the palace. And I understand that a squall or two came through with some surprising winds and a little bit of rain. It's uncertain how fast they're coming, but they seem to have hit by now. And that is it from our on-the-spot weatherman. I have only one word left. This is the Highbrow Weather Channel, brought to you liberally by Tog Heuer. Please know how fine these watches are. Thank you. Back to you, AJ.
Thank you, Karen. I'm getting news now that we have, that's right, we have the ambulance driver. Rob, are you there?
I am.
Rob, I understand that you were the ambulance driver who went and picked up Humpty Dumpty, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And can you tell us, how was Humpty when you got there?
Well, it was chaos. It was just chaos. There were pieces of egg and law firm business cards everywhere.
I see. And what role did you actually play in this, Rob?
Well, I was responsible for trying to rush him to the hospital, but it just wasn't possible.
I see. And was there anyone with you when you arrived there?
Yes, there was a guy named Petter who was here, and I don't know what he saw, but he was right beside me the entire time.
Well, can we talk to Petra?
Absolutely.
I understand that we now have Michael on the scene with Petra. Julia, is that right?
That is absolutely right, AJ. We're going to send it back out to Michael in the field to get some more interviews so we can figure out what's going on with this very messy scene.
AJ and Julia, I'm here with Pietra, a visitor from the Czech Republic, along with his translator, Bill. Pietra, can you tell us what you saw?
Co se stalo?
No, jsem tady asi 2 hodiny, ale to, co jsem tady viděl, to jsem snad viděl poprvé v životě, protože tolik lidí najednou, myslel jsem si, že se tam dává něco zadarmo, tak jsem se tam šel podívat a jako viděl jsem jenom krev a potom jsem čekal, co se bude dít. Nikde policajti, nikde sanitka, prostě všechno byl strašný chaos, tak jsem radši nemůžu krev vidět, tak jsem se otočil, odešel jsem pryč, protože tohle teda jako já nevím.
He said it was really bad.
That's it from the scene, AJ.
Thanks, Michael, for getting those riveting details from the scene. But ladies and gentlemen of Sunnyside, we have a special guest with us now. AJ's left the studio, and we have with us Dr. Money, an accident reconstruction expert in the area of eggshell reconstruction. Dr. Money, I want to talk to you first a little bit about your experience in eggshell reconstruction. Tell Sunnyside how it is that you came to be an expert in this area.
Well, I went to high school and studied the regular high school courses for about 15 years before I got my diploma. Then I went out and bought a dozen eggs, and I just practiced with those eggs until I was able to pass a certification test.
Dr. Money, I see that you have brought to the studio here today some exhibits. Would utilizing those exhibits help you in explaining to Sunnyside how it is you're able to be an expert in eggshell reconstruction?
Yes, it would. As you see here, I have what is similar to a wall. And let's just presume for now that this is what Humpty looked like sitting on that wall. As you see, Humpty, when he fell, from my understanding, he fell forward and crunched down onto the concrete. He did not fall sideways. And so what that means in eggshell reconstruction parlance is he was pushed. A crime has occurred, Julia.
You heard it here first, Sunnyside. It's a crime, the details are messy, and there's so much more to be learned. Stay tuned for further updates and more information.
Improv is a great icebreaker to do in your first class, but it's really important that everybody be spontaneous and that everybody participate when you're doing this exercise. If you break down what you saw opening statements, leading and non-leading questions, working with different witnesses, and talking to experts. Improv is educational, it's fun, and the kids learn a lot. So give it a try.